Hello, Loy,
Hey,
founder of Kyber Network. Pleasure.
thanks for
Pleasure.
having me.
So, let's get into it. I read that you were from Vietnam.
Yes, I was born and raised in Vietnam. Went to college there. After that, I moved to Singapore and started doing research in cryptocurrency and blockchain in my PhD program.
Yeah, you
And,
did a PhD, so
yes.
it's doctor.
You can call me doctor, but I never use that title.
Okay, okay.
So I got into blockchain and cryptocurrency research in late 2013. Back then, there were only a few people, doing research on it.
What was it about? Yeah, like you were super early on. If you started your research then, what was it about Bitcoin at the time that really compelled you?
I think it's just the idea of this is a new area and there are a lot of things that we can do. There are a lot of things that we can still discover and innovate on top of it. And just the idea of fully open and permissionless payment system, right? I think and that involves a lot of academic stuff, like cryptography and also this distributed system and all these things. I think that collectively attracted me. And to be honest, it took me some time to convince my supervisor to allow me to.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, back then everyone was like, what is this Bitcoin, right? What is it Bitcoin? And no one is using it. And things like that.
Were you the first at your university to do something about Bitcoin?
I think I started it. I started the cryptocurrency and
True
blockchain
pioneer.
research. Thanks a lot.
So is it like the technology itself that you find most interesting, or its societal impact?
I think it's mainly on the technology side because we came from the academic background.
Yeah.
So we look for hard questions. We look for technical challenges that we can solve and address. But only later on, until a couple of years later, we found the potential impact and why actually people there are so many hardcore on this, right? And why many people actually dedicated their career and their life to this.
Their life exactly. And you started Kyber whilst you were doing your PhD in the last few years, I think, right?
In the last year. So
how did you juggle that?
So I mean, it was not that hard for me because I think I almost completed my PhD program in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Because I published enough papers, I spoke at enough conferences. The only job left is to write the thesis, right? And my supervisor was super supportive. So I was okay, so usually it took 4 years or 4.5, right? But my supervisor was if you already did enough work, then just get out and do your job, right?
Yeah.
So I was okay, I just wanted to do something in cryptocurrency and blockchain, and I look around for hard and impactful problem to solve to do my own startup. So that's how Kyber started.
And why decentralization? Why not go the easy way and do a centralized exchange, Loy?
I would say I always look for challenges, right? If you attended a PhD program, you are motivated to solve hard problems.
Yeah.
You are motivated to do something that you think is going to be impactful. Of course, this is not to say that centralized exchanges are not that impactful.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that a lot of people have been doing it already. So I don't think that the world needs another centralized exchanges.
When you started yours, were there already, was this crypto derivatives was the first, and then we had Ether Delta? Was it around that time that you started?
Yes. So Ether Delta was around when I started.
Yeah.
But I think we all know that it's not the thing that everyone knows, that everyone wants, right?
Yeah. And it's a centralized order book still.
I think back then they still had everything on the smart contract, all the order books and everything,
right? Okay.
And it was just slow and everything and all the problems, right? Only until later on they moved the order book to off-chain.
Yeah.
And it's stored on the centralized server.
Yeah.
Right.
How and why Kyber itself as a word? What's the idea?
Sorry. Mainly from, so you know in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
There's a lightsaber,
Yeah.
right? And in the lightsaber, there's a crystal.
The crystal. Yeah.
There's Kyber crystal there that actually
Sweet.
powers the lightsaber.
It's called a Kyber crystal in the movies. Oh,
Yes.
Amazing. That is cool, man.
Yes.
I love it.
So we need to look for something powerful and something that powers others, right?
Yeah, that's
and
brilliant.
you know the Kyber is short and sweet, right? And it has the exact meaning.
Is this the first time people will find out that that's where it comes from?
I think I will share like in a couple of places, but
Okay.
I don't think it's was emphasized enough.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love digging into the details. So, I mean, how do you feel about not holding custody of your customers' funds?
I think it's just it's a lot easier for me
Yeah.
and for the company and for the project as well.
Yeah.
Keeping people fund is a huge liability, right? If
Yeah.
something happens, you have to, you know,
Yeah.
compensate the users. And I don't think like I could sleep well if like there are billions of US dollar under our wallet, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people already experience that.
Have you explained to your local regulator, and you're registered in Hong Kong or in
Singapore.
Singapore? Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah. So does the Singaporean regulator understand that you bear less risk, much less risk, than any like centralized competitor?
We had a few conversations. They are quite friendly and they are listening. It's just that they haven't made any regulation regarding decentralized changes or
Yeah.
decentralized tradings.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, they don't even have any regulation about cryptocurrency in general.
Yeah.
So far, there's one coming soon, but we have to wait. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so our experience with the FCA in the UK was that what they are worried about is all the unregulated crypto service companies, such as exchanges, such as other cards even, that are custodial.
Yeah.
And so they have their users' funds, and they don't know if they're running on a fractional reserve, what happens if they get hacked, all this stuff. And so the fact that we were non-custodial as a wallet, like they literally think it's a huge step forward for consumer protection.
Exactly.
And it's the same with your service.
I think so. I think if we spend enough time with them, they would understand.
Yeah.
And probably they don't even need require us to have a license.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if our whole industry was decentralized, like our services, regulatory requirements would be so much lower.
Right.
Because you don't have to regulate the company directly.
Right.
You don't have to make sure they're doing what they say they're doing.
Right,
Because
right.
the most important stuff is all transparent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why? Like I would say that Kyber. This is why I love that we're working with you, that I'm talking to you now. Kyber is one of the most successful DeFi projects in the space right now. You guys are absolutely pioneering this stuff.
Thanks.
What have you done? What's the secret, man?
I think we just have an open-minded when it comes to. We just have an open mind when it comes to working with other people.
Yeah.
We try to work with everyone. We don't consider anyone as competitor because we just think that the space is just too small, right? We
Yeah.
need more collaboration. We need to grow the pie bigger together.
Yeah.
And we also we are always looking for innovation to improve our own service. Like for example, currently in terms of trade volume and everything, we are already at the top, but we constantly improve the liquidity that we offer, so that other integrated DeFi services can indirectly improve the service as well. Right?
Yeah, we feel completely the same way. So indeed, the reality is, even though we all have competitors, right? The reality is we're all hoping that the same thing happens in the world, right? That people actually start to use this stuff instead of traditional finance.
Right.
And so, if our, like in our industry, in our specific niche, other wallets are Argent, for example, or the guys at Zerion, who I met here at DevCon. If any of us achieve success, that will make, that will open up the floodgates to all
Exactly,
of us.
exactly.
We're supposed to work together here.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be fighting against each other. We should be trying to bring DeFi to the masses, because there are 7 billion people out there and the race has barely begun.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, on that note, I think the DEX space, of all the DeFi platform, of all the DeFi like categories, as like, DEXs, stablecoins, lending platforms, the DEX space has reached an interesting level of maturity that no one has reached before, where now we're seeing like aggregators like 1inch and Paraswap and Total.
Right.
What's like your perspective on that? It's so interesting.
I think it's just I think it's great to see like all these services popping up, right? It shows that there's obviously opportunity for them to make money and to serve the users, and I think a lot of users would love to use Toto and Paradex and all these guys to easily find the best rate available in the space. I think it's for the better.
Yeah, it's definitely best for the consumer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting new phenomenon.
Right.
And, I mean, I guess for Kyber, where do you think you'll be in like 3 years? Where do you want to be?
I think we want to power most of the transactions in the DeFi space.
Most of the what? Sorry?
Most of the transactions right, in the DeFi space.
Yeah.
People can just use Kyber in the background.
Yeah.
They don't have to know that they are using Kyber.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can still help them and power all the services that they are using.
Yeah. WBTC, you're wrapping Bitcoin. You're doing that with a consortium of other companies.
Right.
And what do you hope to achieve with this?
I think what everyone is aware is that Bitcoin still has much more liquidity and value compared to other cryptocurrency, right? So we just wanted to bring Bitcoin to Ethereum so that other DeFi applications can use. So that they can trade in a decentralized manner. I think everyone wanted to have it. When we talked to everyone to invite them to be on board, everyone was like, they have thought about it a long time ago. They just like, I think everyone was just like too busy with their own projects, so that they haven't started the project yet. Right? So it was like very very easy talk to invite everyone to be part of the initiative.
I mean, we'll be part of it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, because we've been thinking of doing something like that ourselves, and so it's definitely better to bundle all of our collective efforts. And then I guess my last main question is, how much time do centralized exchanges have left before projects like yours demolish what they stand for?
I think they are good for several use cases, right? And I think there are always a reason for them to exist. For example, they are good at serving as a fiat gateway for the end users, right?
That's right.
So if people have a fiat and if they want to purchase crypto, they will have to go to centralized exchanges. Right. There's no other way, right?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, of course, like we can mention like all the peer-to-peer and OTC trading, but I don't think it's going to be like viable solution for many people.
So what we're trying to do is, on the one hand, we're integrating DEXs such as your own natively into our app. And on the other hand, we're about to add money in that people can send from their bank accounts, money into our platform. The moment it hits our platform, we convert it to like pound tokens or euro tokens.
That's great.
Or WBTC or ETH, right? And then this starts to approximate what a centralized exchange does, hooking into the banking system.
Cool,
so we do think that together,
awesome.
Watch out exchanges, we're coming for you.
Right.
Kyber and Monolith.
Awesome.
Anyway, look, thank you, Loy. It was a real pleasure to meet you in person.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I hope to work a lot more together with you guys in the future.
Let's do it.
You guys are awesome. Thank you again. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, everyone.